Hey guys, I'm here with the pick a card, and today's pick a card is about your karma and what is your karma in this lifetime. What are your challenges? What are you here to learn? What are your lessons, right? So I have 5 piles here, and I do not have like the view where you can see it right now. I just haven't set it up that way yet. But I'm going to get started. So the first pile I have flipped over already, and I'm just going to take a look at it. One second. Okay, so what I'm seeing a few things, guys, for you. I'm seeing that you have many different talents, or you have like a ton of creativity within you, a lot of ideas. I feel like you have a very young spirit, but your challenge and your karma in this lifetime is learning how to find your independence and also to accept yourself. It's like I feel like you guys probably grew up not having many people understand you. You might have even been called weird, or you might have been like the outcast in school, or your ideas may be different from a lot of people's. You may have just like a completely different view than most people. And this is the thing that is most beautiful about you, but yet it's the thing that is like the most scariest thing to you, because you've been rejected for being who you are, and so you hide your light a lot of times. And I also feel like because of your upbringing, you may rely too much on other people. I feel like either it's financially or, you rely on other people for resources that you feel that you may need, not really understanding your own power. And that holds you back a lot of times, because you could possibly believe what people have to say about you based on their level of experience and their perceptions of themselves. And so this really holds you back, and it doesn't help you to really shine who you are. And I feel like you're also very, very, very empathic, and it's difficult for you to know where you start and another person begins. And this causes you again to hide. But I'm seeing that how you move through this energy is to really do everything you can to find your independence, to stop depending on people emotionally to a place where you're codependent, where you need the approval of others in order to make a decision, or you need the approval of others to believe in yourself. I feel like in your life you've had a lot of contrast, where people seem to not believe in you, where people seem to second guess you, where people didn't take you seriously. But that is really an opportunity for you to take yourself seriously. It's like you're experiencing the opposite of what you want, so that you can just go ahead and accept yourself, because either way, like, people are going to say what they want about you anyway. Like, you can't determine how somebody's going to think or feel about you. That's really not even your job, and it's too much of a burden to carry. So I'm feeling like you just really need to break free. You need to face your fears and do what scares you the most. If it's a fear of public speaking, if it's coming out of the closet in some way, whether that's spiritually or your sexuality, whatever it is, like, you need to do what really scares the shit out of you. You know what I mean? And I also feel that a good support system, finding like-minded people, would help you feel more comfortable with yourself and would help you accept yourself more, because you actually have a lot to offer. And it's saying that you're really, really creative, and you get confused because of all these other people's opinions and all these different energies that are around you. And really, I do feel like, and life purpose is coming up right now, I do feel like you know your purpose, even though your purpose might be really different from everybody else's purpose, or it might not be as defined. You might not even have the perfect words for it yet, but it's like you know what you're supposed to do, but it gets clouded out by other opinions or what you think people are going to say or do. And you know, the advice here is to know that everybody's going to die. Like I saw this on some video, I don't know what it was, but and everybody's going to die. So like, make the most of this. Like, be yourself. You know what I mean? Because if you were to leave today, would it matter so much what people thought of you? Because those same people are going to think what they think of you no matter what. So just be yourself. You know, let your freak flag fly. You know, just do what you got to do, and cut some of these people that are making you feel this intense fear. Some of those people are going to have to be cut off. I'm seeing, you know, I'm also seeing another thing, that you might be bored a lot of the time. Sometimes you might get a little emo. Depression might be something that you deal with. But I'm seeing that the boredom and the depression's coming from having to live a life that isn't true to who you are. You know, having to do a lot of different things that don't support who you are. It's like you're living your life through other people's wishes and through other people's perspectives, and you're not happy. And you're not able to use all this creative energy that's inside of you. But I'm seeing that if you do use it, it's going to be a beautiful thing. You can actually be very successful just being yourself. So find a way to face your fears. Do crazy things. You know, and I say crazy because it could be crazy to you to do what you really actually want to do, but you're going to have so much freedom when you finally just accept yourself and say, I don't give a damn. Like, I don't give a damn what this person thinks or that person thinks. You know, this is who I am. And when you do that, other people will say, okay, yeah, like, or we already knew that about you. It's just you were the last one to know. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's what I get for you, number one. Let's move on to number two. Let me pull your cards here. Let me flip them over. Oh, wow. You keep getting the Four of Cups. So it's quite interesting. And this group is a very, very special group. Because your karma, wow, your karma, you know, group two, I feel like you've been through a lot, okay, in your lifetime. Like, you have been through some shit, you know, and some of you have been through things that others couldn't even begin to understand. You know, like, some of the things that you've been through, group two, if other people would go through one of the things you've been through, they'd be shook up, let alone all of the shit you've been through. I feel like you have went through a lot of pain and suffering in your lifetime. And that's your karma. That is your karma. But what is so beautiful about this is, because of everything you've been through, you're able to be an encouragement to others, and you're meant to use your voice and to use your life. Use your light. I also feel like Group 2, you have such a strong energy and you're such a strong force. And a lot of you guys are the psychics and the mediums and the foreseers and the channelers. You're supposed to use your wisdom. You're supposed to use the things that you've been through and share them with the world to help others find freedom. It's your light and your energy that really is so comforting to others. And people feel like you are very down to earth and humble, because I feel like with you guys, like you're not very judgmental and you make people feel safe when they're around you. And you know, while I know that the pain and suffering that you've had to endure is your karma, though, I feel like if you could see these cards, I'm going to show you these cards. Like, you got the star, okay? Then you have the orbs of light. Can you see that? Then you have the all-knower, okay? Encouragement. And then you have an oracle card here. I am free of pain and suffering. And then you also have the Four of Cups. And I really want to focus in on this card for a second, because I want you to see something. Like, this person who's sitting by the tree here, they're very sad. They're tired of going through the same shit over and over and over again. You feel like you keep living out the same story. And you see this person who's like an angel offering you a cup. And you're focused on these other 3 cups here, because you're focused on all the pain and suffering that you've experienced in this lifetime and why you keep experiencing it over and over and over again. And I want to tell you that with all these cards, like, what's, to me, the focus for you guys is your light, in using your story to inspire other people, to bring people wisdom and insight, like the deeper knowledge, the hidden knowledge, the mysteries of the world, because you've experienced so much suffering in your life. You have the keys to help other people be free. You know what it's like to be in the dark. You know what it's like to have to come out of really hard times, you know, painful times, grief. Some of you have lost a lot of people in your life. Some of you have lost children. Some of you have been homeless. You know, some of you have had sick parents. You know, some of you have, I'm hearing, special need children too. You know, like, I feel like you have been through it. Like, what you've been through, you know, could have taken some people out, but you have courage and you have a hell of a lot of strength. And even though you feel down a lot of times, because you can look at that and you could say, why did I have to go through all of this? Why me? Why me? You know what I mean? And Spirit's like, why not you? You know, because you're here to help people, really. And if you're not helping people, I'm here to tell you, you're probably going to be depressed. If you're not using what you've been through to help inspire and to motivate people, then it is going to cause depression. It is going to cause you to have an over focus on your pain and suffering, because I also feel like you're moving into a time where you're going to be on cruise control for a while. And you don't have to be in this state of pain and suffering anymore. Even though it was what you experienced in the past, I feel like your story keeps coming up over and over again in your mind, and you might be comparing it to other people, or you might say to yourself, like, why isn't my life like that person or this person, or why haven't I got this far yet? And your keys to freedom here, your key to happiness is to help others. Like, you're not going to be truly happy unless your life is devoted to being the light in other people's lives. And seeing what you've been through as a blessing, you know, not saying that it was easy, and not saying that what you didn't experience wasn't painful, but understanding that everything was meant to happen just as it was, and it's there to help other people. And I want to read the back of this card real quick, this oracle card to you. And the front of it, the affirmation on it says, I am free of pain and suffering. So it says, use this gift to remember who you really are. Breathe slowly and deeply as you remember that you are a soul moving onward and upward. You are not your name. You are not what you do. You are not your body. Visualize beautiful birds removing your pain and suffering with their golden beaks and flying away to drop them all in the vast ocean. And this is the goddess of healing. That's the name of this card. It's called the goddess of healing. So you are a healer. And I feel like you could reach so many. Like, if you look at this card, you see all these, I really don't know. They're supposed to be people, skeletons, not really sure, but with a crystal ball and all this knowledge, you know what I mean? And all this wisdom that you're sharing with all these people. Like, you could reach so many people because of your story. You're not meant to be ashamed of what happened to you or what you've done in the past. You're meant to really use that to encourage and uplift people. And that is where your happiness is going to be. Okay, group number 2. All right, guys, let's move on to group number 3. Give me a second to understand what's going on here. Crows. Working with other people. Okay. I'm getting some of this, understanding it. Okay. So, group 3. Your karma in this lifetime is about working with other people. And here's what I mean by that. Okay. It's about working with other people and then also like rewriting your own journey. Like, and let me explain a little bit. So I feel like group 3, you may have found in your life that you've been through a lot of difficult relationships, difficult friendships, people that you've been in contact with, whether it's been in your family or in, like, maybe you were in church at one time in your life, or maybe you still are, in your religion or in school, or even in your relationships, where you've been in some situations that have been like really, what is the word? Politically correct word. Put it this way. You've had to keep some secrets because of the friends you've had or the relationships that you've been in. Where you felt like you've had to work with some people or be friends with some people that have had pretty heavy histories. Or you might have been in a relationship with somebody that was abusive or who had a really sketchy past. A sketchy past to the point where if people knew all of your secrets, they might judge you. Like, you found yourself in like a, you know, some karmic situations, like your family. You might be the type of family that has a lot of people, you know, that went to jail for various reasons. You may have had friends that are like complete opposite of you, or you might have been one of those people that have gotten into a lot of trouble. You know what I mean? Like, it's like you just find yourself, and you found yourself like experiencing darkness through your relationships with other people, your family, your friends, maybe even your children. Maybe you've even had a hard road with your children. And you're just like, what the hell? Like, why me? I didn't know that I was signing up for this, or I didn't ask for this. You know, I feel like you've been through some serious stuff when it comes to other people. And I feel like a lot of these things happen to you not by your own doing. Some of this stuff you were meant to just experience. Like, and it's really focusing on your childhood here. It's like, I feel like you've had an upbringing that could be, to you, shameful. You know, like your identity you feel like has had to change over and over and over again. But the thing that remains is the darkness and the people that you've attracted. But I feel like, guys, this is your karma. You know, you find yourself in strange situations. You find yourself in situations where your partners are strange sexually, and you find out later. You know, like, this is the kind of shit that I'm seeing. I'm seeing some real shit here that you might not even want to share with anybody else. But I just want to tell you that this is no accident. This isn't because you're crazy or you're a really bad person. It's just you help these people in your family, in your relationships. You've been like the light to these people in your close relationships and with your children. It's like you signed up to be in these groups so that you can help the people that are around you, you know, and but okay, can't get it out. So much information's coming to my head. I also feel like, group number 3, that you could be, or you could have went through a major spiritual awakening at one point in your life where you had like a whole family, or you had a whole group of friends, or you had just people that you've known your whole life, and you've had to literally like have to walk away, or that maybe they were taken away from you in some way, and you were used to being around these people and these support systems, and in some way like you've had to distance yourself from them, or they were distanced from you, or the universe came in and had to distance them from you, and it's made you feel very, very, very alone. It's like you have had to do a redo in your life. And just looking at this card. Wow. Man, it's making me... Okay, so what I'm seeing is something that I'm hearing right now is that your heart, like your heart chakra, has closed down a little bit because of this. Because of this, you haven't been able to trust people. Because you've been hurt a lot. Because you were so giving. You were such a big giver at one point in your life that people took advantage of you, and this is a lot to do with your karma. You had such a big heart, and people didn't understand your heart, or these people in your family, in your relationships, your friendships took advantage of that, and you didn't know any better, really. You didn't, and because of this, it's like showing me like you having ice over your heart, you know, and it's really hard it's hard for people to get to know you. It's hard for people to like really touch your heart, or for you to open your heart up to other people. And the way that you can balance this karma out, and I feel like you're already in the process of balancing this karma, is to surround yourself with people that you want to be around. You can tend to isolate yourself. You can tend to, you know, just stay to yourself and not really leave the house much, or, you know, not trust people. You can tend to be shut down, you know, only show people what you want them to know about you. And while it's good to have a balance, I feel like you went from like being the giver, and being super open to like really closed down, and your heart's in there. And like, I just keep looking at this card, like the Ghost Lands card, right? And, you know, Spirit's like showing me like a heart in there, you know, and a heart that is hard to be penetrated. And a heart, it's like a little girl or a little boy who's like really afraid to come out of their shell, or afraid to really be known because they're afraid to get their heart broken because it's been broken so many times. But I want you to understand that these situations that you were in, these people that you were around, it all went just the way it was supposed to go, you know? And you taking this time to isolate and reflect, and it's probably been quite a while, that was meant to happen too, you know? And now I feel like it's time for you to come out again. Come out of your shell and to be around people, like-minded people, people that are like you, that are safe. You know, I feel like you're gonna find like-minded people. You're gonna feel that those people are a lot more safe. Your family might not be like a normal family. You might have friends that are your family. You might not even connect a lot with your original family at this point, but you're meant to have a different kind of family, you know, a different kind of support system. But that is the way that you are to get through this, is to be around people again, and also to use that, the stuff that you've been through, to not be ashamed of it, to understand that it is your karma, and to also help people, you know, and be able to guide people because of everything that you've experienced. So that is it for you, number 3. Let's move on to number 4. Wow. There's some heavy stuff, y'all. Whoa. Wow. Okay. Let me just take a look. Okay. Okay. So I just want to show you, like, your karma, your life lesson here. Look at this. The Death card. Crazy, right? And I was just looking at this, and look at the skeleton, right? So, but do you see how the skeleton has a crown on? I feel like for you, number 4, transformation is definitely your karma. Like, having to rise over and over and over again, to die and be reborn, die and be reborn. You've been through some shit, for sure. And I feel like you guys, number 4, you're very emotional, very deep emotional beings. That because you've been through many different transformations and you have changed so much, you have a very broad perspective on life. You can see things from a higher level. And your karma has been to go through some rough shit, to go through many different transformations where, and it could have been through physical deaths, could have been through divorce, heartbreak, you know, health issues, and yet you still keep rising and continuing to get stronger because, and I don't mean strong like hard, I just mean strong like as in what you've been through, you're mutable, you can deal with change easier than most people because you've been through so many changes. I'm hearing some of you guys literally like had to go from house to house to house when you were little. You know, some of you guys were separated from your parents when you were little for some reason, or you guys moved around a lot and you had to make new friends constantly, different places. I'm hearing bullying, like some of you guys have been bullied when you were kids. And you had to just keep getting back up, keep rising, you know, and because of the many different things that you've been through, you have this beautiful perspective on things that a lot of people don't have, you know, and you've had to really rely on your faith. You've had to really reach down and believe in something that you can't see in order to get through the things that you've been through. You know, I feel like some of you have had somebody in your life that was sick, somebody that was very close to you that was sick and that possibly could have passed away, and that was very difficult for you to get through that. I'm also hearing like some of you guys have had like a partner who may have either had suicidal thoughts or literally committed suicide. And I don't mean to get so heavy because I don't know what's going on with this reading, but this shit is heavy as hell. But nonetheless, you've been through some things, right? And you know, you've really had to, you know, you've had to really find your faith. And I'm seeing like some of you guys just on your knees a lot, you know, like crying out to God or crying out to the universe. I'm also seeing because of this, because of your strength, you've had friendships or people that were jealous of you. Because sometimes the little things don't bother you as much. Or things that bother other people, you're like, shit, I've been through so much worse than that. You know, why are you letting that affect you? You know, like, and I feel like because of the strength that you have, because of this wisdom that you have, this higher perspective, people can sometimes get jealous of you or be competitive with you. But the way that you're going to balance your karma is to I'm hearing for some of you guys, get back into your heart. Because some of these things that you've been through, like in, I don't remember what group that was, I don't know if it was group 2, you could have shut down a little bit, or you could have gotten so strong that you're not easily affected, or you don't allow yourself to feel as much. I feel like you are such a deep person. Like, I'm hearing the phrase, still waters run deep. Like, you, there's so many emotions in there. And I feel like you need to share that. You need to share some of those emotions. You need not to be afraid to call somebody that you trust, and you probably have a hard time trusting people, but you need to find some kind of support and, you know, talk to people about what's going on inside of you and share some of that. And I feel like some of you guys, man, you have a lot to share, whether it's through poetry, blogging, writing. You guys have some